So, I just made a video about how Republicans try to gain the vote of racist white people that are uneducated, and they're easily manipulated. They usually don't have a college degree. They're just field workers, peasants, uh, slave labor. They work in the field right next to the blacks, Latinos, Asians, picking cotton, doing railroad, whatever, factory workers. Um, and then they have no value because they don't have a skill or any kind of education. So when a black or Asian or Latino comes along and can do the same job as them, which is unskilled labor, then they lose their job to the colored people. And so they form this uh, concept or this shared feeling of racism at the workplace with their other white brethren that, oh, they're letting, Asians and blacks and Latinos are coming into the country and taking our jobs. And, we don't like minorities and colored people. And it's not their fault. They use racism. So the Republicans try to say, oh, we'll build a wall, keep the Mexicans out. That's not the problem. It's rich versus poor. This racism is just being used to get your votes. The problem is your rich ass white boss. He's the one choosing not to pay everyone a fair wage. He wants to keep everyone as poor as possible. So he will hire whoever is going to work and do it the cheapest. He doesn't care what you look like. He don't care if you're white or brown or Asian. He's not a racist. The only color he cares about is green. It's rich versus poor. It's an economic war. That's what Republicans are. The Illuminati, what I'm saying, class. Um, Republicans are basically just the CEOs who have slaves or who have employees. That's what a Republican is. Capitalism. They want to keep all the slaves paid as low as possible. And I just made a video about this. And some people might take offense or think I'm trying to insult some of these white people. I'm just telling the damn truth. And I'm going to show you right now.
All right. All right, so here we go. What is the scariest thing that's happening in the country now that no one's talking about?
No one's talking about Biden, this clown being in the office. That's what I would say.
His claim to being in the office?
What? No, he's a clown.
He's a clown. In what ways? In what ways do you see him that way?
I mean, look at our economy has crumbled ever since. Look at the economy, okay? And Trump got in, you look at one thing, and then you look at when Biden got in. It's a totally different scenario.
Well, the economy, we have lowest unemployment in years, and the economy, by all the indicators that we traditionally use, the economy is bouncing back now. What do you blame Biden for when the economy is actually getting better now?
Biden cut off, the gas prices are to the moon and back. He cut off the fuel flow. Everything. We know this was a stunt, a political stunt.
Well, how would that be a political stunt? Like, what would be his impetus for raising gas prices if a president can even control that?
Russia.
In what way?
Russia.
What about Russia?
Well, it's all, everything's connected, Russia and the U.S. It's all behind the scenes stuff you guys got to know.
The fuck
Let
you
me ask you
talking
a little
about,
bit
man?
about immigration and whether you think immigration is a problem here in South Carolina.
Well, immigration is just too many people coming into our state. Look at the traffic on the roads.
Look at the traffic on the roads.
That's the fault of immigration, pretty much?
Yes.
Yes, that's the.
What's the most dangerous
This fucking guy's an idiot. He said look at immigration. Look at the traffic on the roads. This is the fault of immigration. This is a Trump supporter. And so, my brother he's a doctor. The other brother, he's an X-ray technician. My dad, you know, like these are the clowns. They're Republicans, and I'm like, these are your constituents. These are your comrades. These are the guys that you're voting for with. These that you share the same ideology, the same political concepts. Like you guys have the same values. This guy never completed the 6th grade. He was raised in a barn. He's probably the result of when your parents are having sex with the animals and shit. Anyways, the guy is, I can't believe, like, so we asked, you know, what's the problem? He's like, Biden, he's a clown. Like, there's no issue, no point. Like, can we really, like, talk about an issue? Like, what kind of problems we're having? Like, what's the scariest thing? Just listen to these clowns, man. Next, talking about Biden's a clown. Nigga, you a clown. This motherfucker, like, that's your response. Like, that's the scariest thing. You're like, the guy was making no sense. Like, he had... These guys vote for Trump, and they're not voting on any issue. No points are made here. It's just... They're just, like, making up stupid reasons. Like, this guy here.
In the country.
The kids are switching their genital or their sexual things in like grade school.
First of all, this guy looked like something off The Hills Have Eyes. Like, definitely, like, you the result of incest, first of all. Like, you look like you don't even know what your gender is. I can't even tell what the fuck you is by looking at you.
And stuff like that.
You think that's a lot of people that are doing it?
One's too many, so yeah, I gotta say yeah.
But one,
you know, not even if the child, you know, has a say in it, you know, just whatever the parent says or whatever the school does, you know.
What's the scariest thing happening in the country right now?
Letting all the immigrants come in. I think that the wall should continue to be built. They're taking all the people's jobs, and that's my number one thing.
The wall should continue to be built, and they're taking all the jobs. Like, see, that's what I'm talking about, man. They're appealing to the racism. You know what I'm saying? Build the wall. This bitch still talking about build the wall. Like, that was a whole fucking lie. That shit's not gonna ever happen. Like, what are you, a fucking idiot? What do you do? Build a wall around the whole fucking United States and we're gonna live inside a big fucking bubble? That's not realistic. That's not real. These people are fucking idiots. They're just idiots. What the fuck is a wall going to do? Nothing. You're not gonna stop shit. You can't fly or climb over the wall or dig underneath it or go around it. I just can't. Just uneducated people, man. Like people that just old and dumb and useless, man. I swear to God, these people that vote for Trump, man.
Even in South Carolina, 2,000 miles from any border.
Even so, you go to the flea market in Somerville, nothing but Mexicans.
Isn't that exciting, though, in a way, too? Because that's the American story?
That's not exciting to me. I think Americans should come first.
But many of them are Americans once they have children here and they're generationally moved
exactly.
on. What do you see as the
just don't even have an answer. Like, listen to these motherfuckers.
Biggest danger in America that nobody's talking about right now?
Crickets
chirping. You don't even fucking know.
Everything.
Just fucking everything.
Grandchildren to be raised in the world where it's headed.
What's the biggest or the scariest thing that's happening in this country that no one's talking about right now?
That's a really good question. I would say probably electric cars and holograms.
That's the scariest thing? Really? That's the scariest thing.
That's scary. That's something we all got to be prepared for. And, AI is scary. But it's not going anywhere. We got to learn how to live with it and learn how to deal with it.
Is that something that you think Donald Trump would embrace as something that he would find scary as well?
I think so. I think he would embrace it, and he'd also take care of it somehow. He's got a good business mindset. You know, he didn't get all the way to the top for no reason. You know, he knows what he's doing. I have faith in him. He's like, you know, it's like...
Okay, first of all, the AI shit, I could see that because if you ever seen Terminator, that that's who wipes out. That's who wipes out the human population is the AI. All of these movies, also a lot of movies, all the AI, you know what I'm saying, is the aliens or whatever. That's who lives on the moon or whatever in these movies, and that's who comes to wipe out the human race. I can see that. I can see that. That's a little far as what's the scariest thing happening because that's not nowhere near what's happening now. We're talking about right now. So that's kind of like this guy is like kind of out there, man. And as far as like Trump getting to the top and how did he get to the top? If he's not such a smart guy, dude, his fucking daddy was a billionaire. Trump inherited everything. He didn't work for shit. Trump didn't work for shit. He didn't get to the top. He was born at the top. He didn't get there. He didn't do anything to make it there. He didn't do anything great to achieve, to work his way to the top. He was fucking born there. Okay? These guys are fucking idiots, man.
It's like having like your cool dad in office. You know, he's going to take care of everything. Everything's going to be good. You know, when he's there, it's good. When Joe Biden's there, it's a little scary. It's like, Grandpa, out of the living room, go back in the kitchen.
The scariest you.
Oh man, I can see that because this is exactly, I can see that happening in this guy's home. I could see him and his grandpa having an interaction. Fucking weirdo.
You want to know what the scariest thing is? It's the mainstream media. It's the news events. It's the newspapers. It's the false, the lies that are being told. I understand it has to happen because it's the Great Awakening, and people have to see the ridiculousness of the lies that the left tells.
Can you explain what the Great Awakening means to you?
The Great Awakening, it's not simply changing the administration 4 years here, 4 years there. It's changing America and the world for 1,000 years. This thing globally is being taken down. It's a devolution and a reconstruction.
When you say this thing, I'm sorry, I just need specific.
The one world government.
Okay.
The few want to take over the many, you know. And they start, they start with the deplorables and the mouth breathers, which are patriotic Americans trying to make them look bad. So yeah, 40,000 foot view, it is a global takeover.
Sources? Okay. She's the few trying to take over the many, the Illuminati. Okay, so that's already happened. Okay? They are already in control, pretty much. That's already, you know what I'm saying, the Illuminati is the rich, they already have everything. They're already in control. And we are just the slaves. Okay? So Republicans are the Illuminati party. Okay? They're the ones spreading the lies, the misinformation, trying to use the racism to get the vote of the uneducated American, trying to turn us against each other using racism. But they do not support or share your values. They are lying to you, appealing to you, trying to use racism to get your votes, so that once they get in power, in office, they make decisions like give corporations big tax cuts like Donald Trump did. Another thing is, okay, so what's the scariest thing in America? That's what they were asking. I personally would be worried about the fucking documents that Trump sold to Russia and being attacked by Russia. So communism, Russia already has taken over half of South America and Africa. And so did China. Communism is spreading. Okay? These documents that Trump had, some of them were nuclear sensitive. They were related to the defense strategies of the United States. Why does Donald Trump have them in his house? And then by the time the FBI would have got it, I feel like Donald Trump already sold the important shit to Russia. Russia or China, both of them. And then I just seen Putin on talking about, oh, this is great what's happening to Donald Trump, because it just shows how it's a politically motivated, how they preach democracy and really they lie, and it's just all political motivated. No, Trump is a criminal. And Putin knows it because because Trump sold critically sensitive information to Putin. Why does he feel like he has he's not afraid to attack Ukraine right now? Why? He would have never done that if I feel like he's already got, sensitive information about the United States defense. That's why he attacked Ukraine. Because he feels like, if the United States jumps, he's got the one up on him. You know what I'm saying? I would be afraid of that. That's what's scary to me. Another thing is the price of housing and food. Inflation is unaffordable. Everyone's getting evicted. I would be worried about crime. And that's what's happening. You got people are just sitting out at ATMs and they are just robbing everybody at the ATMs now. They are going to these stores and just taking all Apple stores, Versace, all these high-end stores, and they're just doing the smash and grabs. You know what I'm saying? Crime. That's going to be a really big thing. That's what you need to be worried about. Because when you got all these people and you can't afford to feed them, they ain't got nowhere to go, they ain't got nowhere to eat, they ain't got nowhere to rest their head at, they gonna come to your motherfucking home. They gonna come to where you fucking rest at. And they gonna take your shit. That's what's gonna happen. You got a real big problem here in America where the food and the rent and housing is unaffordable. And people cannot afford to live. And that's why you're seeing the increase in crime. That's a big problem. And they're going to come to your fucking home and they're going to take your shit. And they're going to kill your ass too. That's what you need to be worried about. Okay? That's what's scary to me. I ain't afraid because shit, you come here, you gonna leave in a body bag, come out this bitch. Okay. I'm not making this shit up. I'm not making this shit. I just made a video about how, these Trump supporters, they are just uneducated. Like, usually trailer trash, uneducated white Americans. And they are just easily manipulated. They're easily fooled. Like, I could scam these guys easily if I come to the house. You know what I'm saying? I could probably... Anyways, we're not going to talk about me. But these guys are like... They're just voting Republican because they're being appealed to using the racism, which easily gets, these uneducated white people, because if that is one of the ladies said the same thing. Oh, minorities are coming, they're taking our jobs. Yeah, that's called capitalism. That's what Republicans are all about. That's when you vote Republican, that's what they do. They hire the cheapest slave labor possible, and when you go and ask for a raise or you try to form a union, they will fire your ass. That's Reaganomics. That's what Reagan did to the union workers. He fired all the federal workers at the airport. The damn traffic control people, the union for the traffic control, he fired all of them. That union. That's what Reagan did. That's what Tim Scott said. That's what all these Republicans, that's their solution, is when you ask for a raise, then fire you and just hire Mexicans. Or we'll send our companies to Mexico. or China. That's what these Republicans do. That's their thinking. But see, all they do when they campaign is they say, oh, you know, they bring up the problem, the issue. That they created the Mexicans and the Asians and blacks to take your jobs. Yeah, because you're the one doing the hiring and firing, because Republicans are the CEOs that have the businesses, that have the employees. They do the hiring and the firing at the businesses. So it's not the Mexicans and the blacks and the Latinos that's the problem. That's what they want you to think. It's your white, greedy ass boss who's doing the hiring and the firing. It's the Republicans that's creating the problems. He ain't got to hire no Mexican. He ain't got to hire no black. He ain't got to be greedy and hire the cheapest person available. He could decide to give you a fair wage, or give you a raise, or to keep you, and not just hire the cheapest person possible. But he's not going to do that, because that's what capitalism is about. That's how rich people get richer, and that's how you keep the poor people poor, is you have them fighting against each other. You have them fighting against each other, and you think it's racism. They're fighting about money and who's going to make this slave, who's going to work in the field. You're fighting over who's going to get to work in the fucking field. You're arguing about who's going to get to pick the fucking cotton. You guys are arguing. You're fighting over who gets to pick the fucking cotton. I want to be the slave. I want to be the slave. Like, it's ridiculous. It's so stupid. It's like, that's what y'all are fighting for. It's so fucking dumb. And it's like I'm saying, they use this racism shit to keep you guys fighting against each other, when really you need to come together and form unions and stick together. All the, you know what I'm saying, everybody in the union is all races in the union, but you got to stick together, and that's democracy. That's democratic shit. You're not going to get that voting Republican. Republicans, they will fire your ass. Republicans are the CEOs who own the companies who have slaves. That's what Republicans are. They're the slave masters. If you're not a slave master, if you don't have slaves, if you don't have workers, employees, then you are a Democrat. Okay? If you don't have slaves, you are a Democrat. Okay? And you need to be voting Democrat. So, like, I just can't believe how stupid people are. You know what I'm saying? They will say it's just how easily they get tricked. You know what I'm saying? They talking about, oh, like, they act like, oh, like they have your best interests or values in mind, and they don't. All they're doing is using you to get into power, and then they're making laws and doing shit to enrich or enhance the rich. Nothing for you. And this guy who was like, oh, the first guy who was like, oh, things under, it was one way under Biden, and it was one way under Trump, and it's one way under Biden. Look, when Trump was in office, he inherited the greatest economy ever from Barack Obama, a great black president. Trump inherited the best economy ever. And what did he do? Sank it into the ground. Because when he left office, COVID had just hit, and he chose to shut the entire government down. Everyone lost their job. That was Trump. Trump chose to shut the government down. Everyone lost their job. All the businesses went out. A lot of businesses failed. And so when Biden came in, they were just opening back up, and he inherited the worst economy ever. So if anything, Trump just sank America into the bottom. All this shit happened under Trump. And another thing is, I think that he is the one that allowed it. So the fucking coronavirus came from China, right? This was talked about in the book, Behold a Pale Horse, about how they will use the flu virus to kill people. But this happened under Trump. Trump let that shit come in. He let that shit slide. That shit happened under his administration. Also, he sold the fucking defense shit to Russia. That's why he had all them documents. Y'all better watch out for this China-Russia war. See, Trump thought he was going to be in office. And if he was, I think China and Russia probably would have tried to take us over. And Trump would have let us fucking... He would have sold us out. Because he's with the Illuminati. And so is Russia. Putin is Illuminati. Old dude that runs China, he's Illuminati too. All the rich people, the 1%, the top 5%, they are the dictators. They own everything. It's Rockefeller. They are the people that are in power. They are the elite, most richest people in the world, which is Putin. Putin is Illuminati. Xi Jinping, he's Illuminati. All the dictators, the owners, the kings or whatever, they are Illuminati. The top 5%. Trump's Illuminati too. Or he might not be, he's not smart enough to be Illuminati. The Illuminati tell him what to do. But y'all talking about, and then they try to say like, oh, they try to make it look like Democrats got, no, Republicans are the Illuminati party. Y'all need to wake the fuck up, man.